Alright, so for this video I got a bit of an AC problem, and the problem is that this vent and this vent are spitting out hot air. So even when I have the AC on, these two are giving me super hot air, so I have to close the vent, and even then I'm still feeling the warmth coming out of here. So all the other vents work. I'm getting AC coming out of there, but these two are not working. So when I scan my car, this fault shows up: left temperature flat positioning motor. Basically it is the motor that controls the vents that I have the issue with. So I gotta pull that off and swap it out. So then once you remove this interface, you just remove bolts 3. These over here, there's gonna be some kind of panel. I don't know exactly how that's gonna look down there. It says do not remove the bracket. Do not remove this whole bracket. And then push the bracket towards the brake pedal, tie it off, and that should give us access to the motor right down here. And you just disconnect the connector that's on this side, remove the bolts, loosen the control rod, and then remove this whole thing and then install the new one. So let's go check it out, see how this is gonna go. So this is the motor. I bought it online. I forget where I bought it. It wasn't that expensive, and it's definitely going to cost a lot less for me to do it than to take it to the dealership. So let me show you what the book says for doing this job. Alright, so for removing the left temperature control door motor, you got to remove the footwell vent, number 1. And so to do that, you got to take off this little driver's side door, or driver's side little glove box. What do they call it? The driver's side storage compartment. And then you got to remove these 3 screws for this panel cover right here. And then once you do that, you want to take off this vent here, attached with 1 screw. And then it says once you do that, you got to come down here and take off the data bus diagnostic interface J533. And it says to go to this book, so let's check that out. Okay, so it said go to electrical equipment. That's the book here. Go to section 97, which is the wiring, control modules, data bus. So here's control module, data bus, onboard diagnostic interface, removing and installing, boom. And so once we get all that off, we got to take off. Okay, so to remove the OBD2 scanner, you got to get a little dirty. You got to get your fingers back underneath it, and on the right and left side, back behind here, there's these clips. You can feel them with your finger now. All you got to do is pull up on them. So let me see, let me show you. So it's going to be like this. Back here on this side, you got to reach back there, and then with your fingers, see these little clips right here, you got to pull these back. And once you pull them back, you can feel it unlock, and then you can slide this back. So don't mess with the front right here. You just got to, it's these 2 little tabs right here. You can reach back with your fingers, pull them up a little bit, and then the thing just comes out. Okay, so now we got to take off this vent down here. So let's figure out how to do that. Okay, so there's 2 screws for that vent. There's one right there, and then there's one right there, and then right there. So it's gotta reach in there, take this out, and that vent comes off. Okay, so once you remove the vent, you can see the motor. It's right there. That's the motor right there. And we got a bunch of stuff in the way. So we got to remove a few connectors. We got to remove this guy right here. and see how we can get to that motor. Let's follow the instructions the book says. Okay, so we got to remove this plug here and then take this assembly off. So it says to remove this plug, you just got to push this tab in right here and then pull it out. It's extremely hard to do holding the camera. So I'm just going to push this tab in, pull this off, and then to get this off, you got to pull this side of the module and that side of the module, pinch it, and then the thing comes off. I got to pause it. Okay, next remove this panel. Got a screw right here, take that off, and then this whole thing comes off. And so now you got a little bit more room over here, but let's see what is next according to the instructions. I think we got to take this bolt off here because they want us to pull this thing all the way back and hold it. All right, so the book is saying to remove 2 bolts from this, but I only see one that we can remove, and that's that one right there. So I'm gonna pull that one off, and hopefully that gives me enough space to get to that motor. All right, so it's a 10 millimeter. I just used an extension and got that off. And so now it looks like theoretically I should have room to get back there, but let's see what the book says. Alright, there's no easy way of doing this. So I got this tied back, the little bungee, and so you got to get this screw, and there's another one back there. Somehow you got to get back here and take that one off. I can feel it, my finger up there. And you got to take this plug off. Unfortunately, there's no easy way of doing it. If you look here, oops. So this is what you're looking at. This is from above, and then this is from directly from the side. But we're getting it from up underneath here. So this one is accessible, but somehow we got to get that guy, remove that clip, and then unlock it from this control arm, and then install the new one in there. So I can't think of a good way to get back there. I'm just gonna lay down there on my back, get my hands up there, and see if I can pull it out. There's no real easy way, so good luck. That one's gonna be easy, but there's one back there. I don't know how the heck to get that one, so we'll see. I'm just gonna get up there and see what I can do. All right, so to remove this, you just gotta, there's tabs on this side, so you just gotta pull over on this a little bit. See how that tab came out. Pull over on this side, and then this whole thing just slides down and it comes out. So it literally just hooks on right here, and you just push it up, and then that's that. And so now we got to take off 1, 2, 3 screws on here to take off this panel down here. So they are T20s, so you just need a little bit that looks like that, T20. You should be able to pull them out, no problem. Don't lose them, put them in a little metal magnetic thing like this, so you don't lose them. Take them all out. Hard to do it with one hand. And then, let's see, this one over here. Boom. Okay, so now we have this little connector right here. Definitely want to disconnect that guy. What is that for? Not sure, but we're gonna disconnect it. Okay, so to remove this, all you gotta do is pinch the sides of it. Pinch this part right here. Pinch this side. Release the tab. Boom. I'll give you this tip. It's a 9mm. So I got a 1/4-inch drive ratchet. I'm gonna get up in there and hope this thing does the trick, but it's really, really tight in there. It's ridiculously tight. All right, quick tip. Take the screws off this little side panel. That way you can get to the bottom of this motor. Otherwise you won't be able to pull it out. Same 9mm. So take these 3 screws, it gives you enough space to move it around. Boom. Okay, this sucked. There's only one way I was able to get this off. First thing I did was I came over here on this end and I literally just pulled this out, and then this whole rod came out. So pop the rod out because you're not going to be able to disconnect it from here. So pop the rod out, it slid right out, no problem. And then I actually broke this end, which I don't really care because this one doesn't work anyway, because there was no way I was going to get that screw out. So right now the screw's up there, and you can see it's right there, and I really don't care. I'm going to take it out right now, and then if I can't put that other screw in there, I don't care. I'll be happy with these 2 right here, to be quite honest. So I don't need a 3rd screw. 2 out of 3 is pretty good to me. So the next thing to do is to take this rod off, and I'm just going to make sure that this is exactly the same way. This is in the exact same position. So basically it's basically in the exact same position. I'm going to take this rod off, slide it on this bad boy, and then install everything and hope to God that it works. Okay, so looks like this is the new one, this is the old one. I had to pull this off because this one was too thick. It wouldn't fit in there, it wouldn't fit in here. So all I had to do was go in here with a screwdriver, lift it up, this thing popped off, put it right back in the same position as it was when I got the new one, and now this is going to fit in there like this, and now I can install it. So before it wasn't fitting, this is just too thick. So as you can see, there's just like a little key. It's nothing, it just pops off. So just screwdriver in there, pop it off, and stick it in this one, and we should be good to go. Okay, so now I'm going to install it, and let me tell you something. Getting that 3rd screw off was a nightmare. My hands are all scratched up. I even needed a pair of needle nose pliers to take it off. So it goes without saying that I am not going to install that 3rd screw right here. I'm not doing it. I'm doing these 2, and that is that. I just can't get my hands back there. My hands are too fat, and that space is too small. So now that I have this on there, all I'm going to do now is connect this connector, get it in there, get these 2 on there, slap this back in, and before I do anything else, I'm going to test my car and make sure that I get AC coming out. So I'm not going to do anything until I test it. So that's the first thing. Let me see if I can get this back on there. All right, so I got the motor back in, I got the rod back in, and I only got 1 bolt in that. And guess what? This thing feels pretty damn sturdy to me. So that's how it stayed. 1 bolt, and I'm happy. All right, so the only module I'm going to connect is this one, just because I don't want to have any error codes. I'm not exactly sure what this does, so I'm just going to connect it. I'm not going to put anything else back together. I'm not going to connect those, and then I'm going to start my car and see if I get cool air. All right, so I got everything back together. I'm going to start this thing and see if this thing worked. All right, so the AC was off to begin with. I probably should have said that. All right, so I got the AC on, and it's nice and cold. So that was it. It's working now. So I don't know how much the dealership would charge for that. I'm sure quite a bit, because that is a nightmare. But that's it. So that motor fixed it. 1 bolt instead of the 2. Look at my hands are all scratched up, and we're good to go. So now I just gotta put everything back together, and if this video helped, let me know, man.